Hey, welcome everybody. Now you are supposed to hear me because we are on, and tonight we're playing 20 Sides Against Lankhmar. We are doing a short run of a DCC Lankhmar campaign. We're planning on doing this for about roughly shooting for 10 sessions or so. This is session 3. Our characters, this is the first session where we're actually going to be in Lankhmar, which is pretty exciting. So, thanks for coming out and being with us here tonight. Um, as we are streaming and playing this game, you are invited to be a part of the fun. As you watch 20 sides of every story, you earn EXP, which you can then spend in the EXP store, um, which is right here. That's where you can check all the different things that you can do. Pretty much like the primary thing that you can do to help the players is redeem fleeting luck so that they have extra fleeting luck in the pool for when they just need a little bit more added to that D20 roll to change it from a failure to a success. So the way it works is typically they can spend their fleeting luck points to add bonuses, modifiers. Each luck point typically is a +1, except in the case of our thieves. When the thieves use a point of luck, they are currently going to be able to roll a D4 and see how much of a bonus that will be for them. Hey, Kogo, thank you so much for the subscription. 46 months. That is awesome. We really appreciate all that support that you give to us, and yeah, it's much appreciated. So we're thankful for you being here. See some new faces out there, maybe in the chat. Welcome in. Thanks for coming and hanging out tonight. If this is your first time catching one of these streams and you're kind of wondering what happened previously, you can always check any of our replays are up on YouTube. So there's a YouTube channel if you want to go check that out as well. I guess the other thing that I usually put a plug in for is you should join our Discord server. Our channel is really community oriented. It's all about bringing people together to play in games, and so we invite you to join the Discord. Come say hi in the lobby and let us know what you're looking for. We do run a community campaign, which is a 5e game that is open to everybody. I don't know how many players we currently have. It's probably about 30 or so, I would guess, that have made a character in this latest community campaign. And we have, I think it's like 5 or 6 DMs that have been creating some content for that, writing original adventures. I myself am adapting Princess of the Apocalypse into that. It's all a shared world, shared campaign. So it's a lot of fun. You can play with. That's a great way to kind of get to know other people in the 20 Sides group. So come check that out and join our Discord. We'd love to have you. All right, so where we're picking up here tonight, our group of bravos here, these 4 that you see, Mickey, Wes, Alef, and Ruclef, they have just come into Lankhmar off of a ship called the Cuttlefish, I think is what it was called. And they had stowed away on that ship because they had been sent to a fate in the arenas of the Mad Duke Lithquil, who presides over his city across the inner sea. They were kind of doomed to a fate of certain death in his fighting pits, but maybe due to a bit of luck, maybe a little bit of divine intervention from a deal that Mickey made with the Hates, this kind of ambiguous god or grouping of spirits that seem to have sent him on a path to dish out some pretty harsh justice on a nobleman that is related to the overlord of but whatever it is, maybe it was a confluence of factors that allowed them to safely escape from those fighting pits, make their way onto this ship, and now they have found themselves in the, not exactly the safest place in the world, perhaps, but it is a place where they can hide away. They can try to stay undetected from the Duke should he decide that he wants to reclaim his quote-unquote property. And it might be a place where they can earn some coin. One of the factors that helped them get to Lankhmar was that Ruclef's former, well, maybe not former, Ruclef's partner in crime a bit, whose name is Jaris.
Jaris.
Jaris had fortunately not turned his back or forgotten about Ruclef, and he has spent a considerable amount of money getting you all to Lankhmar. So even though he's a friend and comrade of yours, he is hoping that you will be able to repay that debt. So you got a little bit of a debt over your heads as we start things out here. Maybe before I go any further, we're going to see how well they're laying low in just a second, but I'm going to give them a chance maybe to introduce their characters to you, especially if this is your first time tuning into us. So why don't we just go around the group here? Just give us kind of the little synopsis of who your character is, and give us a glimpse into what their mindset is coming back to Lankhmar, or if it's their first time coming into Lankhmar. So we'll start on the opposite side of my overlay this time. And we'll start things off with Chris. To tell us a little bit about Ruclef.
Good evening. My name's Chris. I'm playing Ruclef Clen. He is he comes from the land of the 8 cities. Actually, originally, this is his first time being in Lankhmar. He was a bit of a ne'er-do-well, I guess, growing up. He kind of, was in and out of trouble. He did do a couple stints in some work yards and things of that nature for low-level crimes, but he's pretty good with Warhammer as his weapon of choice. But for the most part, he is rather large, oafish, not incredibly bright. He just tends to be the muscle to protect those that he works with. The previous job, or not the immediate previous job, but one of the jobs that he had worked with Jaris involved some wizardry, some magic that went awry, ended up kind of corrupting him and Jaris, actually. But he's kind of afflicted with itchy arms that appear to people that they kind of melt and stuff like that. And that was actually the thing that got him pinned on the previous crime that got him arrested and put into the gladiator pits. But he is happy to be out of there. He'd always heard of Lankhmar and had wanted to come, and this maybe wasn't necessarily the way to get here, but now that he's here, he plans on doing some drinking and imbibing whatever he can find. So
sounds good. Let's move on over next to Gabe. Tell us a bit about Alef.
Hi guys, I'm Gabe, and I'm playing Alef the Wizard. And I should say he's a rather mediocre wizard at that. Absent-minded, not particularly bright, thinks he always can trick other people, probably can't. But be that as it may, that's not his first foray into Lankhmar, even though he's originally from the east, from Arborix, and he moved to the city in search of fortune, and things didn't really go well for him the first time, so much that he was sold into slavery due to a debt that he owed to this local gang lord. So now he's back and is definitely planning on laying low and getting as much protection he can from Ruclef and the other big boys, because he clearly cannot defend himself. And so that's where he is.
All right, and let's move over next to Dave to tell us about Wes.
Hi, I'm Dave, playing Wes the Thief from Lankhmar. He's glad to be back in the city. He didn't crap hole of the arena and the Mad Duke. He's quite confused about the news, whether it's true or not, if he would be the bastard son of one of the Mad Duke. So he's definitely looking to try to find some answers for that. But he's definitely glad to be back in Lankhmar. Lankhmar is kind of like his city. and secretly he tries to help those with a lesser life like how he had. He doesn't want them to go through that hardship as bad as what he did. So
Awesome. And then let's go over next to Mickey.
Mickey is second level thief and a resident, a native of Lankhmar. Mickey is not really the original Mickey. He took Mickey's identity. The true Mickey died on the ship on the way over, and he took his identity because he was a wanted man in the city where the arena was. So he has escaped that fate, and but he has pledged a task that he has to do for the Hates patron. So that's where he's at. He's going to have to take on that responsibility to assassinate that nephew, because he doesn't believe the Hates will want to give him too much time to complete that task before they get impatient.
All right. So, the first thing that we have to do. So, Jaris Quim, after you got off the boat, Jaris would have directed you to where you could find your accommodations. And so he told you that he had set up some accommodations with an old acquaintance of his, someone who once was a beggar, someone that he used to buy information from, but someone who did quite well for themselves and kind of elevated their station in the structure of things. And she is a woman by the name of... Oh, I thought I had written down a name for her. I'll see if I have something that I wrote down, but basically it directs you to a place called Beggar's Lodge, which is on a street called Slave Street, just in between Immigrant Street and Beggar's Boulevard, just north of the End Gate, kind of in the southern part of Lankhmar in the slum district. And his idea about sending you here is that it's probably like the best place for you to lay low, even though maybe the accommodations aren't great. The slums of Lankhmar aren't really very well attended to by the constabulary. It's kind of more or less ruled by street gangs that kind of dominate block by block, just neighborhoods in that region. So you'll be out of the watchful eye of the law, which is sort of the idea right now. And right now, like, really what it is you have no indication that the Duke would be looking for you. Only reason maybe he'd be looking for you is if it was well known that Wes was the bastard son of the Duke. And I don't think I don't remember how I characterized that. Were you under the impression that the Duke knew that you were related?
No, just his nephew did.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. It was, yeah, he knew. That makes sense.
Yep.
So, right now, really what it is you're just trying to, like, sense out, like, is anybody coming? And so Jaris is going to kind of watch the port for anyone that might be coming from where you just came from, if he sees any of the agents of the Duke poking around. And so it's just kind of like testing the waters right now to see if you're free to kind of move around Lankhmar or not. So
Now, is this the same nephew that I'm going to be staking out?
So that's the nephew of the Overlord of Lankhmar that you're looking for. So he, the nephew of the Overlord of Lankhmar, his name is Snarv Christomerces. He had visited you in the dungeons of the Mad Duke. Apparently there, it looked like he was shopping around maybe for some slaves or indentured servants of his own, and he had flirted with the idea of buying you for a moment. Seemed like he was looking for some people to do some dirty work for him in like he is sort of maybe a threat to the group because he was on the ship that brought you over, and you don't know for certain whether he's going to keep his mouth shut or if he's going to use that against you at some point in the future. You just don't know. But one thing you know is that he will be showing up in your future, likely, whether it's because you have to fulfill your debt to the Hates, or that he's going to come and do something untoward against you all. So we'll just say, I guess maybe I didn't generate a name for the innkeeper. I thought I did, but I don't see it here in my notes. So I'm just going to use one of the random Nehwonian names here at the back of this book here, and we will say that her name is Rahina. And so she the place where you're staying, Beggar's Lodge, is more or less, it's not an inn, it's not a tavern, it's really just a rest, like kind of like a hostel, a place where there's like a common room for you all to kind of share. It's not private lodging or anything like that. As you walk in to the pretty modest building, it's a 2-story building. It doesn't even have any signage out front. Like, you probably wouldn't know about this place unless you knew her or had some kind of recommendation from a friend or something. But you walk in, and there's just kind of like a short little hall where she's got a desk, and then there's just like behind her, maybe a number of keys that she dishes out for those that are going to be staying there. And then that little hall, that little kind of reception area, is adjoined by kind of like a common hall for taking meals and such. The food that you're going to get here isn't going to be top notch. Basically some vegetable stew, some biscuits. If you're lucky, there might be some fresh vegetables or fruit, maybe, on the table. But that's about what it comes down to. And then upstairs, she has a little private apartment of her own. And then there are 2 larger, like, common rooms, basically, that each have 10 beds each. When you arrive at Beggar's Lodge, you're the only ones that are staying there. And so you get the sense that maybe Jaris maybe had paid a little extra to make sure that no one else was going to, like, he booked the whole place basically and reserved that just for you. Rahina doesn't seem to ask many questions about you all. She's kind and she's respectful, and she does her best to make sure you're comfortable, but you know, it seems like she's someone that like knows better than to ask a ton of questions. So I think with that, we're gonna roll into, let's see how this laying low check is gonna go. So my first question is, who among you has the best luck score? I'll let that person do the roll.
Yes. Well,
I got 16.
mine is 14.
That's pretty good.
13.
13 here too.
Okay, so there was somebody that has 16. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Okay. So the way this works is you're going to...
Are we back up to full luck? Because
not right now, not yet.
oh, then I don't have 16 then.
Okay.
That's my max. I would only have I used 5 luck last session.
Okay.
So
After this roll, you will once we've like fast forward time. But at the moment, I'm gonna do the roll like before you cover.
okay, then
Then
it wouldn't be me.
so it sounds like, was it Ruclef that had the next highest?
Yeah, mine is currently at 14.
Okay, so you'll do the roll. Now the thing about this luck roll is, it is adjusted by the dice chain depending on how difficult it is, and truthfully, the Duke isn't putting a lot of effort to find you. Like, it's not like he has people running away all the time, but he's got so many people that come into his dungeons that, and while he was somewhat entertained by your antics, you're not worth putting a lot of effort in, from his perspective. However, he does entertain a lot of guests, and so this role is a bit more about, does somebody recognize you? Does somebody that was at the arena notice you during this time? So I'm going to say as a result, the roll is going to be made with a D16 rather than a D20, which means rolling
Okay.
under would be a easier task. And the
Okay.
problem here is if you roll a 16, there's a complication no matter what.
Okay. And is it /R for roll? Because I don't
I think
have
it's
a D16.
I think it's /roll. It might be R as well. Roll and then 1d16 should work.
Okay. 13.
13. That's under, right? That's under by 1.
It's under by 1. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So that means that you pass, and there is no complication with that. So that's good.
Excellent.
However, there's another laying low roll that has to happen, and that is the roll for Alef, because Alef has an enemy here in Lankhmar who goes by the Vermilion Viper. Someone that was it he lent you some money, and you were like, this is no problem because I'm going to go to the gaming tables and I'm going to somehow use my powers maybe to like swing things in my favor. Then that didn't happen. And you lost the house. And then you tried to like sell him some like bad drugs or something to like make up for it. Like there's just insult upon insult here. So we have to see if this character knows that Alef is back in town. So what was your luck score?
My luck score is 13.
Okay. So I'm going to say yours is a D16 as well, because he has no reason to believe you're in town instinctually. You haven't been around enough. Maybe after you've got a bit of reputation under your belt and stories start swirling about you, I might bump it back up to a D20. But for now, we'll let you do the D16. Oh, and so you match.
I match.
I'll say if you want to burn a point of luck, you can dip that under.
Yeah, I will definitely do that.
That's my goal today, is I'm trying to get them to burn a lot of luck because I want them to carouse at some point. So, okay, so you're safe for the moment then too. So probably after a couple of days of you being at Beggar's Lodge, Jaris comes in to check in on you all. And just to kind of remind you all of Jaris, he was on the boat with you. And Jaris is... give me 1 second. Pull something up. Jaris is a relatively rough-looking figure. He's got a number of tattoos up and down his arms. He dark skin, bald head, green eyes. He's got a couple of piercings on his right ear, and he looks cleaned up. He looks a bit refreshed after a few days of being off the ship. And he comes in and he meets you all for like breakfast one morning. And he says, "So, how's your things going? Hopefully the accommodations are comfortable enough. You're not getting too stir crazy. Hey, it beats being in a crate or a barrel, doesn't it?"
Handily.
Well, I got some good news. I've got eyes on the docks. I haven't seen thus far any evidence that the Duke has sent anybody this way, and I think I've got a lead on a job for you.
That would be excellent.
That's great.
It's going to take me maybe a week or so to get the details in order. This client is very well, let's just say what they're paying for is your discretion. The reason being is he's a former member of the Thieves Guild, and whatever this task is, it's going to cut into their bottom line, and he doesn't want that being traced back to himself. So, I would say hang tight. Make sure at least one of you is here at all time. You could be expecting a visit. Like I said, I would guess about a week from now we'll have the details in order. We're still haggling a bit about the price. You each, I hate to bring up money among friends, but you each owe me 50 gold rilks for the accommodations here, the payment that I had to give the captain to get you over here and such. So I'm trying to haggle with them to get the best rate possible. Something that'll allow you to pay me back, but then maybe pad your pockets a bit as well. So
Right to the shoot.
I trust you to do us right.
yeah. So like I said, hang tight, and I'm probably going to be I've got a few things cooking up personally that I'm going to have to attend to, so you might not be seeing me for a few weeks, but don't worry, I'm not in any trouble or anything like that. It's just being back here, I've got a lot of balls I'm juggling, so I'll leave you to it, and if you do need me for any reason, and he just kind of gestures, you're sitting in kind of the commons area where you're eating your meal. He just kind of gestures to like the little reception hall, where you would know Rahina to be, and he said, "Just leave a message with her. She knows how to get in contact at any time."
And any information that you send about this will be through her as well.
Probably for the foreseeable future, but there should be a man here in short order. His name is Faukel. He's a representative, an intermediary for the our employer.
Cal.
He will arrive here and he'll give you the details of the job.
Very good.
Anything?
How go things on the outside?
Things are good. I haven't heard any news about your friend, Snarv, Krista Mercies. I'm sure after his long voyage, he's probably getting up to some manner of debauchery himself. But I haven't heard anything officially that he has been up to. So I think you're all in the clear with him, as far as I can tell.
Now, if you hear any word that changes, please let us know.
I will. So, if there's anything else as I can do for you, you just let me know. And if there's no further questions that you have for him, he'll take his leave from the hostel. And probably about a week or so will pass. We had talked
I'd
a little.
like to talk to the group members.
Oh, sure.
Did he say he this job is gonna possibly have implications to piss off the thieves guild? Because that wouldn't be good for me and Wes. Being
Well,
members.
I think what he meant is we should make sure that whatever we do doesn't come back to this former member.
I was going to ask
kind of
if
going against the grain if we're doing something that's against the thieves guild.
Because we cannot be caught.
I'm not sure we have the luxury of saying no to Jaris, so we have to be smart about this.
until such time as the debt's paid to him, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I owe him my allegiance first and foremost. No offense to anybody sitting around the table, but he's
Well, I've got other obligations too to these hates that I made an obligation to. So, I gotta start watching that nephew there to fulfill my obligation.
Well, that's another thing that's gonna put you on the spot, man. So you might want to rethink
Well,
your
and
priorities.
actually, it might help us all too. I mean, because if he's got information that he might release that might be damaging to the rest of us, uh, you may want to see him get off as much as I do.
Mickey,
it was-
what is the salary? Go ahead.
I was just going to say about this lord that it seems that it was mentioned that he's got ties with the Thieves Guild as well. So this job that you took to do, may
Well,
put
he's
you
not
on
a
the sour
member.
side.
He may have connections, but
My memory is forsaking me lately, but what these hates? You took a job for them, Mickey?
it was they were. I obligated myself to them because they gave us some assistance in escaping from the arena where we were imprisoned there. You aren't obligated, but I am.
Well, you're part of our group now. The life of Lankhmar, it's a double-edged sword, no matter what we do.
But this nephew, he actually has information that he could use against us, because he knows of our escape. So
And he's a slime ball.
even though he hasn't done anything yet, he can. I'm obligated to get rid of him, but I'm sure it wouldn't do us the rest of us any harm if he went missing either.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be no love lost from me, but one question that I have for the two of you that are from here, how, he's the nephew of the leader here, but I mean, I guess, what does that mean exactly here?
It means a lot of trouble. So that
Doesn't sound like he's a favored nephew anyway. He might be more of a black sheep of the family. So if he went, if he got offed, they might not. Might be a blessing in disguise for them.
Yes, but
Who knows?
honor would dictate that they go after heavy whoever took him out. So I wanted to remember that. He might not be loved, but his position demands something to be done about it. A
Yeah,
scapegoat be
that's
found
why
and made an example.
I'd most likely like to do it in secret if possible, without anybody knowing who took him out.
Yeah, it could be one of those strange things. They're appreciative of the fact he's gone, but also have to, no problem, making a show of force against some.
Yeah, that's why I
Criminal
want to
element.
keep it. I don't
Save
want to
face.
do it openly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely an embarrassment to the Overlord. Thumbs his nose at his parentage kind of whenever he can. So, not sure if you've arrived at a full conclusion about what to do about this situation that Mickey has gotten himself into right now, but I believe, Mickey, you're interested in trying to spend some time over the next couple of weeks here while you're laying low, getting some sense of his whereabouts, routine, something like that. Is that the idea?
Yeah, see if he has a regular routine that he does, and if there is some point in this routine where he finds himself most vulnerable, maybe
Okay.
he has a little uh, rendezvous someplace
Sure.
where he goes alone, and no one's around him.
Sure.
That
So why don't you tell me, Lankhmar is a big, big, big city. Even though this guy, he's got a profile about him. How would you be going about trying to find him? Where would you be trying to find him?
Well, I would assume that it's not really a secret as to where his residence is. Just like everyone knows where the leader of Lankhmar is, I mean the palace or whatever.
Yeah,
So
he would reside in the nobles district.
yeah, so I would I'm assuming that there are probably beggars in many parts of Lankhmar, and I would be on the street and stake it out
Okay.
where he would be and follow him from a great distance to make sure that he doesn't know that he's being watched.
So you and then Wes also has something that they're going to do. We'll come around to that. We'll first resolve your thing. So you make your way out onto the streets of Lankhmar. And I got to make a couple of rolls here.
Sorry.
That's exactly how Mickey is feeling as you jump out into the very smog-filled streets of Lankhmar. There is always some degree of a haze in the city just due to the sheer volume of humanity that is, lighting from their smokestacks, from chimneys, from just garbage being burned in the slums. There's just a heavy degree of pollution that just kind of creates this haze, which on some days is further compounded by the fog that comes off of the sea. Today it's actually relatively clear. You are definitely picking up on the smell of horse dung and dead fish outside as you're traveling from the poorer sections of the city. And but you know, it's kind of the fact that, you know, the poorest of the poor is on the south side of Lankhmar, and as you start making your way up, you know, either Wall Street or Carter Street, or you start heading up to the northern sections, it starts to get more and more affluent. So as you start to make your way into the noble, why don't you give me a D100 roll? And if you are telling me what that D100 roll is, you're muted, so I can't hear you.
No, I haven't rolled it yet. Okay, that would be 69.
All right. So as you are hitting the streets, one thing that you see playing out as you make your way up there is oh, okay, perfect. You're coming up on the noble district. Here, I'll scroll out the map just so that the audience can kind of see a bit of Lankhmar. So this is where they are down here. To start, this is where Slave Street is. Mickey is making his way all the way up. It probably takes you half the day just getting up there, traveling through the streets. Few hours to get up there on foot, but eventually you'd make your way up into the kind of northern districts here where the nobles and the wealthier merchant families live, those that don't officially have a title. But you stroll up and you can see the dress of folk coming and going here it's much different from where you're coming from. But you're not alone. You know, the beggars aren't stupid. This is where maybe you could actually get some meaningful coin. And the fact of the matter is, everybody knows that many of the beggars are associated with the Beggars Guild, and by extension, the Thieves Guild. The constabulary kind of leaves beggars alone because it's sort of an unspoken rule that as long as they're not causing problems, you know, a lot of people suggest that the Thieves Guild maybe is the real power in Lankhmar and it's not truly the Overlord. And so there's a little bit of conspiracy with that, but you're not alone in panhandling and waiting around here. But you spend maybe a few hours amongst some of the beggars on a corner with something out to collect some coin from maybe some of the more benevolent of the nobles. And you watch an event kind of play out. You see that there is, oddly enough, there's a little push cart that is kind of situated at this intersection. And there's a donkey there that's tethered to it, just waiting. There doesn't seem to be anybody around, and there doesn't seem to be anybody attending to it. And after a moment of you observing this, maybe looking about, trying to identify who left this here, you can see that there's a man that is very brazenly urinating near some bushes right in front of this very, immaculate home. And as that is happening, as that is transpiring, there is a sort of a procession that is coming through. And you can see a very well-dressed man who has a slew of attendants at his beck and call, kind of following him. And he starts throwing a fit as he sees this happening. As it turns out, that must be his house. And this man says, "Good sir, good lad, do you have any idea whose home it is that you are urinating upon? And what is this cart in my way? This is such disrespect, this riffraff coming up here and disturbing my home. Come, and get him, fetch him." And he starts like snapping his fingers, and his attendants go and grab and drag the man over. And there's sort of like a big scene that is playing out. The man that is the man that's calling out the noble. He's very large, very rotund fellow. And he starts to like kind of try to get off of his horse, and he falls on his back. A number of his attendants start guffawing and kind of laughing. And there's a sort of an air of disrespect all about. And he gets up and he kind of brushes himself off. He tries to get his decorum in place, and he goes over to where the man presumably owns the donkey, goes over there and just grabs him. His attendants kind of like hold him in place, and he just starts beating him. Is there anything that you do, or you just watch this occur? All the beggars near you are kind of maybe talking under their breath, and you hear a number of them refer to this man as Duke Borvat. "Oh, that's Duke Borvat." And then another chimes in, "More like Duke Hogfat." They kind of have a laugh.
From this cart that was parked there, I assume the guy that was urinating, it was his cart.
It seems that way.
From the cart, can I tell what he was transporting or hawking?
It's empty.
The cart is completely empty, huh?
Yeah. Could be that he was making a delivery or something up here. Like he doesn't look like he fits in here. Like he's lower class. You see the Duke as he's beating the crap out of this guy, and he's just sucker punching him, He's very unathletic, like very out of shape man, but
so his attendants are restraining the guy so that he can't defend himself.
Yep. Yep. He goes for a low kick, right in the jollies. And then he orders a number of his attendants to go and kill the mule, the donkey. And they go over there, and you can see with some reluctance they go over there and they cut the throat of the donkey, and it lets out a squeal and just slumps down and starts bleeding on the pavement.
I will I will walk down the street and pass by this large individual, and I'll make some derogatory remark about the guy that he's beating up. At the same time, I'm going to pick this guy's pocket.
Okay.
The large guy.
Okay. Give me a roll for pickpocketing. I think that's one of your skills, right?
Yeah. Okay. That'd be 13.
13. So given all of the kind of the chaos that is happening, why don't you give me a personality check also to see how
Oh,
much
geez.
he's buying this?
Not one of my better skills. 2.
Okay. So you're dressed and you have the demeanor of a beggar, and you go up and kind of get involved a bit, and then you start picking his pocket. And he just says, good sir, unhand me. What is this riffraff? And then he's like calling, attendants, get this man. He's stolen something from me. I felt his hand in my purse.
Well, I'm sorry I got too close to you. I haven't had a bath in a while.
And his attendants are coming over and trying to restrain you. Are you resisting, or are you allowing yourself to be restrained here?
I'm gonna run.
Okay, so you start.
I'm gonna.
You start running.
Yeah,
All right.
I will. Avoid being grabbed and run like hell.
Why don't you just give me a luck check to see how this goes?
Am I? Do I still have the modifier of my full luck, or
You have your full luck now. You've had a few days.
okay?
I'm assuming you didn't set out and do this on the first day. You waited a bit. Do you want to roll under?
I rolled a 7.
That's lower than your luck, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. it
So,
is.
I'll have to get. I didn't have like chase rules up, so I was gonna go into that procedure, but I'd have to look it up, and I don't want to do that just now. So, you get a lucky escape as you start heading down and out of the way. You manage to at some point get on the roof of like a building, and of course, this is the sort of the highway, the secret highway of thieves and fences, is to take to the roofs, and you can kind of get wherever you need to. So you're able to evade his attendants, who are probably making a half-hearted attempt at best to chase you down. So no problem. But however, you will not be able to make a check to see if you can find Snarv, because now you're being watched. So that will be that. We're gonna move here over to Wes. So you were going to go and kind of hang out a bit on the streets, kind of in the neighborhood where you're staying.
Yeah, I don't think he would go anywhere near like the silver eel inn, because that's where he was caught. So he would kind of leave the area where everyone was, and then he would try to find a corner to disguise himself. Switch his tunic out. Reversible. It's a different color. Add a fake mustache or beard if he could.
Okay.
Try to disguise himself up best he could. And then he would just go, he's just going to go and look for people, kind of trying to build like a contact list of people he can trust. And trying to see if he can use his wits to see if people would need help or whatnot, who would be willing to sell information.
Okay, that sounds good.
And then, of course, on the way, he would buy, some breads or anything like that, and look for kids who, don't have a home or anything like that, or living out on the street, help them out.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of abstract some of this a bit. This probably plays out over a couple of days.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the things that you were curious about was like maybe people that knew your mom or people that
Yes.
knew her from a while ago. And so
Mhm.
in trying to like develop a little bit of a network, you kind of ask around about that a bit. And really what most people are going to tell you is that they don't know, they know that she wasn't native to Lankhmar. And she doesn't really
Okay.
talk much about what happened before she got to Lankhmar. Is really the story you keep hearing over and over again.
Okay.
You know, most of the people you're talking to think fondly of her, that she was a very fierce woman. They all reinforce like how much she loved you. And but yeah, a lot of them were like, yeah, there's this, that part of her life seemed like a mystery, seemed like something she never wanted to talk about. But you know, after a few days of this, and you're out on the street, kind of in the slave district, you know, you're seeing it all. Once you're seeing bits and pieces of crime taking place. There might even be an occasion where you see like openly like a gang war kind of happening on the street, and you have to like go kind of around that or try to avoid that block and such. But
Yep.
as you're handing out bread to the urchins and the kids, you start to develop a reputation with them. Like they start to know you as you're coming down the street, and they start seeking you out. And so you become a little bit notable as a result. Like you have having these flock of kids following you as you're walking down the street, you know, is notable, that people are noticing that. And as you're starting to one day, maybe we'll say after like 4 days or so of doing this, 4 or 5 days, you're handing out bread, ripping it off, breaking it out, kind of divvying up, trying to be fair about it. You notice there's a woman that is watching you on the street. She has sort of a dark complexion, black hair that's sort of got number of very colorful beads kind of woven in her hair. Big, kind of very cheap looking silver plated hoop earrings, maybe a piercing or two in her nose. She's got the look of someone that's from the Far East. Wearing kind of like these very dark silks. And she's standing kind of in front of this alleyway where there's like a pitched tent, or not a pitched tent, but a kind of a square tent that seems to be her abode. And she kind of winks at you and then like withdraws and like kind of goes into her tent.
Hmm. I'd probably like if there's any kids around me or anything like that. I'd tell them to scatter, go hide. Do I notice anyone else? Does it look like anyone else has noticed this?
Um there's maybe some people that are kind of watching you a bit just from the street. They were just passersby. Nobody that sits and lingers. Like everyone's just kind of coming and going um through the street. Um make a make an intelligence check.
I got a 2.
Okay. Nobody that you notice. You don't notice anybody
Okay.
watching you.
Um, I'll try to go and sneak around and then try to keep an eye on her. I'm not gonna try to see if she goes somewhere else so I could kind of like sneak up on her and maybe startle her and see what the hell she wants
Okay. So
if she
you
ever leaves.
so you kind of approach the tent maybe from a kind of trepidatiously, and there's a heavy smell of incense. Maybe you're even picking up on the odor of some uh, tea leaves brewing. Um, and how long are you willing to kind of wait around to see if she goes anywhere?
Wait a while.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you maybe are sitting there for a couple of hours, and she
Yeah.
never truly like leaves the tent. Well, she doesn't truly leave the area. Like at times, it seems like she comes out of the tent. You know.
Yeah, at that point in time, I try to like startle her a little bit or something.
Okay.
If like she went around a corner or something like that, if I could see, like if she has the same movements or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like she's got like a bucket of dirty water that she was about to like pour down into the sewer drain.
Okay.
And as you
At that point in time, yeah, I'd come out of the showers and be like, "What do you want?"
She kind of startled and she goes, "Oh, I thought you had left. I was expecting you to follow."
It's a death sentence.
Oh,
What do you want? Stitch your
Well.
business.
your eyes are seeking. You have questions.
So you'll tell it?
Yes, I read cards.
Does it cost?
Well, of course, it costs something. 5 silver smurducks.
Do it.
Tea has grown cold. I hope you don't mind. And she like opens the tent flap and like kind of she just goes in. She expects that you will follow. And as you get in there, it's a very tight quarters. There's just like kind of a bedroll in the corner, and she's pulling out a little table that's, you know, just a foot and a half, 2 feet off the ground kind of thing that you just have to sit at. But she grabs like a tea kettle. And she pours you a cup and pours herself a cup.
I don't want.
And she says, "Oh, suit yourself."
Thank you.
She grabs some cards and she starts shuffling them. She says, "Have you ever had a reading before?"
No, I have not. This is the first time.
Very well. Is there something that you would wish me to focus on? A question, perhaps?
Yes. I don't know if it's the truth or not, but I do not know who my father is. Would you be able to see what he looks
And
like? Find
then
out who he
she says, "Let us see what the cards tell me." Then she flips one up and she says, "Ah, the Queen. This tells of an important person to you, female, perhaps of nobility, perhaps associated with nobility. I'm thinking your mother. I see a woman. Very beautiful."
Her name was Helga.
She was,
Yes, I believe she's a builder. She was not noble.
consort of. Yes, I see it here. Yes, she the devil. She flips up another card.
What does that mean?
I think he was the consort to a very bad man. Yes. A man filled with evil thoughts, wickedness, cruelty. She lay with this man but one time. And there was a child. Yes. He loved this child very much. The Black Moon. She made a deal. A pact with another power to protect this baby. His soul was split. The other to perform some task to protect the baby for when the devil came knocking.
Mm.
Hmm. See. Not to protect the baby. The hanged man. To dispense justice. Your fate is tied to this other.
Yes, it is.
His
How do you know
decisions impact yours. I know because the cards tell me.
That's bullshit. Who are you and what do you know?
I am simply an agent of the fates. See, the chariot. To travel. You must go on yet another journey to ensure your safety. Do you know who this other is?
Yes.
Then you should be sure that he does not fail.
God damn it.
And she grins, and you get the sense that maybe she knows more than she's letting on. And she just whispers to you, the hates will never free him from this debt. They will not free you from this debt either.
So it's your goddamn world right here.
The day of reckoning for the elite is coming. You can either join us or be against us, but it is coming. The
Well, I do
privileged
wish
will have their day. Justice will be dispensed.
like the justice. I don't want to be tied to anything else where I have to do something else because I owe them this and that. It just creates, we just get rid of one tyranny into the next.
I am but a messenger. You should take it up with your other half.
I'll do that. Anything else for me? Is that
Just a coin.
give you gold you're worth? These hates, how do I reach out to them? Just through you?
Our numbers are growing.
Yes, suppose.
Look upon any street down here where the downtrodden are. You will find the hates. They live on in all of our hearts.
You need cannon fodder for your war. That's what you need.
Good luck.
You need dagger to slit people's wide open. We'll see you around. You keep this quiet, okay?
She nods.
Stay away from the goddamn kids.
She says nothing.
Alternately.
Okay. So, you return back to Beggar's Lodge. Yeah, Dave, just so you know, you cut out your volume, like kind of cuts out, like I get every other word.
Oh, really?
Audience was just saying that.
Okay.
But I think I got most of what you were saying.
Okay.
So you guys returned back to Beggar's Lodge. Maybe this evening was when you got this reading. It was the same evening that Mickey had the fun times over in the Nobles District and eluded the Duke there, Duke Borvat, and you'll get together again for maybe dinner to kind of talk about things that had transpired across the day. For Ruclef and Alef, it was pretty quiet at the lodge. Nobody came knocking. Nobody came asking any questions. So it was a good day for the two of you. any conversation that the group wants to have with one another before we fast forward time any further?
You should have seen the coin purse that this guy had on it that I almost grabbed. It was so fat that I could have paid off our debts to that guy from the ship there.
Mickey, you got to be careful out there.
Oh, if I could only have gotten that, I was a little rusty from being over at that arena. I usually do this every, on a regular basis, but I've been away for it for a few weeks. So
you didn't
otherwise,
try?
I'm usually really good at it.
Did you try and fail, or did you just decide?
I almost had it. It was within my grasp, but
How did you get away? What happened?
I ran.
Who saw you?
Oh, he was beating on some other poor
So
guy.
no one saw you then, correct?
Huh?
No one saw you, right?
No, he saw me, but he
God
was.
damn it.
Uh,
Oh, I'm just another beggar on the street.
Mickey, you got to be careful. I don't want to go back to the shithole arena.
Oh, he doesn't know who I am.
He's talking wisdom, Mickey. Rule number 1, don't make trouble. Rule number 2, remember rule number 1.
That's right.
I'm not known as Mickey in this city, I'm known as somebody else, so he won't really identify me correctly.
Could you disguise yourself at least?
I always, wear what Mickey wore, and it's kind of got a cloth over my eye, and I'm my face is partially covered, and that.
I will point out that it doesn't really matter that you're not Mickey. If you identify as Mickey, people identify you as Mickey as well.
Yeah, but this is my home base, and I'm not known as Mickey here.
Still, people are going to be looking for you.
Yeah, they're looking for Mickey. I don't look like Mickey.
Just stay out of trouble. Do us a favor.
Now, I do have a question for how this town runs. I've heard stuff about Thieves Guild or whatever. Is there only one here, or are there multiples?
Well, there's a thieves guild, but then there's a beggars guild that kind of falls under the thieves guild umbrella, sort of.
But there's mainly no competing thieves guilds here. There's just really the one.
you basically
I-
you basically have the Thieves Guild, and then you have gangs. So there's totally like other like operations that are unsanctioned by the Thieves Guild that run around and steal and such, but they do so
at their own peril.
at their own peril, yeah.
Okay. As long as heat doesn't get brought down on us while we're to be laying low, I don't have a problem. Wouldn't hurt to get a little bit more cash, a little more coin.
Well, I'm out there on the street. Things were kind of thin, though. They didn't give me much.
Yeah.
Yes, and I've been. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I've been selfish myself. Trying to find information of what if the Mad Duke is my bastard, if I'm his bastard. I ran into a fortune teller. She weaved her web of lies to turns out she's the hate as well. So maybe the others, they will come for you too as well. They've already got Mickey. You've made a deal with these hates, correct?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. You're
Well,
a
I
pawn,
don't like
another
to be
pawn.
obligated, but they did help us.
Yes, they did help us, but the price, the risk versus reward. That now they're trying to get me, and I am tied with you, and so we must be successful together. I do not like this. I do not like being tied to someone else. Very
Well,
independent, and
I'm sorry it dragged you into it, but it
yeah,
was
I don't think we
unfortunate.
had a choice. We need to somehow come up with
I didn't
what?
know that they would hold you obligated as well.
Oh, they just keep coming after me. So, it's hard to get away from that.
Did the hates themselves come to you, or was it somebody who told you?
No, he's one of their followers, but they knew so much information. It couldn't have been just. They had to have been working their magic. Alef, you may know this, but they knew my mother, and possibly she was nobility.
Your mother?
Yes, doubt it. She was a
Uh,
very ornery woman.
If Mickey here made a pact with this entity and you're linked to Mickey, then you might be linked as well. And they might be able to read that link, as you might be able to, read the piece of paper.
All right. Would they be lying to me, or do you think they are? They're going to. I feel like they would lie to get anything that they need.
They definitely have their motives. I don't think they need to lie. Mickey is already pledged. At best, they're threatening.
They wish to get rid of the trash spawn, the nobles in Lankhmar.
All of them?
I'm not
yeah,
sure
we're
if that's
just.
enough.
I only pledged to get rid of the nephew.
That's the start.
So the party, maybe there's a lot of allusion in the tarot card reading for Wes. Hard to say what all that meant exactly, but it sounds like your mother had a past elsewhere outside of Lankhmar and was in some way involved with someone very important. So it's more reinforcing the idea that you had versus disproving it. But you did learn this other fact, which apparently seems to allude to the fact that your mother engaged in maybe some bit of ritualistic magic, maybe to put some kind of a protection on you. And then there was the insinuation that you have a split soul with another person. And so there's probably everyone's going to bed tonight, kind of like things feel leagues more complicated than they were when we were at the arena. But at least you have your freedom, and tomorrow's a new day. And so you go to bed, and you know um maybe 2 more days pass by, and there's a man that stops by the beggar's lodge, an older looking man who um is a muscled body, very athletic build, but he's probably in his 70s, bald, very heavily kind of sagging, wrinkly skin, um, and big kind of chop sideburns. And he's wearing he wears leathers, and he's got a long sword at the hilt. And he steps in, and you can hear him like having a conversation out in the hall while you're taking breakfast, asking about those boys from across the sea. Are they here? And then a moment later, you can hear Rahina tells him to wait, and then she comes in to see you guys at your table taking in your breakfast, and she says, "Well, my lords, it seems that today is the day that Jaris's agent has stopped by. Would you like to see him? Or should I tell him to piss off?"
We'll be honored. Finally, we have a chance to reciprocate Jaris.
They're in here. And then a moment later, this man walks in. And he's very kind of like formal feeling. He's very walks in upright. He's just kind of got this air of just like business, like almost like professional soldier kind of feel to him. And he stands kind of at attention, looking down at you all as you're sitting on the bench at the wooden table, just taking in a couple of biscuits and some coffee. And he says, "My name is Farkel. I serve an important man who wishes to remain nameless. Nevertheless, he has a job for you, one that could make you very wealthy if you play things out correctly. My employer commands respect in certain shadowy parts of our smoke-blighted city, and he wishes to stay unknown. Is that to be understood?"
Of course.
Okay. "Something of his has just been stolen. It's scheduled to be smuggled from the city within the next 2 days. He wants that something recovered before it can leave Lankhmar. I can only
What is it?
give this job out to one crew. Question is, are you the crew to do it? You're capable? Professional?"
Yes.
Jaris says that you work well together. I hope he is not blowing smoke up my ass.
He's not. What
Very well.
What are these goods that we don't know what's gotten stolen? We can't see shit through our crystal ball, buddy.
The object is a sarcophagus. It is the sarcophagus of a former overlord of Lankhmar.
So you're saying there's a dead body in the sarcophagus
Yes?
that we have to steal?
Recover.
Is it buried?
It's not buried. At least not yet. It is sitting at a funeral home.
Do you know one?
This business is in the carousing quarter. It is a front for a smuggling operation by a group known as the Gravemen. It's a very, well, suffice it to say, it is a very ingenious way of getting goods or things that are heavily taxed in and out of the city without the gate watch knowing about it.
So it's not just the dead body in this sarcophagus.
No,
Is
it
that
is
what
a
you're saying?
sarcophagus. He wishes for the sarcophagus. It is a trophy that belongs to him. He won it many years ago. It belongs to him. A group stole it from his home and has already arranged for its sale and is using the grave men as an intermediary. This is where your discretion is needed. My master is a former decorated member of the Thieves Guild.
Why former?
He is retired.
Mikey, we don't need to know. The less we know, the better it is.
The grave men do a lot of work for the Thieves Guild. There can be no disruption to their activity in recovering this sarcophagus. Your reward for retrieving the sarcophagus will be 100 gold rilks for each of you. My master will provide you an additional 100 gold rilk bonus to each of you, as long as no one is killed.
That's going to be difficult. You see this big guy over here, named Ruclef? He can grab your head with the palm of his hand. Almost crush
Well, I
you.
assume
As long as
that he is disciplined and does not just wantonly act out in such a manner.
what if they die a day later? Is that okay?
Just keep the violence to a minimum. Make sure that no one significant dies. The operation
There you-
must go on.
Do you know how much they're selling this sarcophagus for? Do you have that intel?
We don't know. It would seem that I don't even know who the buyer is. Only that the sarcophagus is there. I've already hired a team to kind of scout out and confirm that they saw the sarcophagus go into this business. It is there. It has not left yet. That I know.
Do we
You know
know?
when
Go on, Mike.
Do you know when it's scheduled to be taken out and buried?
2 days from now. It's not going to be buried. It is going to go and decorate some other house, likely to the far east, is my guess, though I don't know for certain.
Decorate a house?
I don't know. Could be one of the lords of Ilthmar would like to have the Overlord sarcophagus decorate his home. Big middle
How mu-
finger to our sister city.
Didn't know they did that.
It is the sarcophagus of an overlord. It is no mere coffin.
How much would your employer be willing to pay? Excuse me, for the information on who the buyer is.
I would have to talk with him. I don't know that he much. Well,
He doesn't care.
he just wants his goods back. I can ask him if he should find out. Perhaps he would compensate you justly. I'm sure that he would like to balance the ledger, so to speak, with these thieves that managed to best him. So, perhaps there are some ledgers there or something that you can find that could confirm that. I would guess that he would be willing to add 50 gold rilks each to the tab. Now, one thing I need you to understand is this business operates legitimately during the day. It is a front, but it is one in which true gravediggers and employees speaking with bereaved customers operates. No harm should befall these civilians. And if you get caught, we never talked. If you should be successful in recovering the sarcophagus, you are to bring it to the Plaza of Dark Delights at the last tolling of the Great Bell of Arth.
Is there anything else?
I will provide you each with 50 gold rilks now, as was my agreement with Jaris, as a down payment and a show of good faith that my employer considers this job to be of the utmost importance, and to reassure you that you will get full recompense for your success and the degree of success that you managed to achieve. If there is nothing else, I will leave you to it. And he just nods, says good day, and leaves Beggar's Lodge.
Leaving the money on the table.
Yeah. He throws a little coin purse with 50 gold rilks at each of you.
Yeah, as soon as
Okay.
he's out of earshot, yeah. What do you guys think? So everyone
Okay, do you think we should try and do this at night when the business is closed down? Or do you think we should brazenly do it during the day and forge some papers and say this is has been purchased and we have to move it?
How about this? We do some reconnaissance, try to figure out how they operate at night, and then see if there's a way for you guys to sneak in.
Yeah,
While
because we don't
Ruclef
have
and
a
I-
lot of time because it'll be gone
Mhm.
in a couple of days. So
We cannot go in without knowing access, exit, and having an idea how many people are going to be in. Otherwise, we're going to go in blind.
Well, and how big is the sarcophagus? How do we get it out of there? I mean, I suppose
yeah,
you
we're gonna need a cart and some animal to pull it or something because
you could make me big again, and I could run with it.
I think that'd be too conspicuous though. If we had some cart, we could cover it up and haul it down the street without someone seeing it. Like we could be like we had some crates in the back or something.
we can use that as plan B. Look, if our horse and cart disappears, then you go into giant mold and carry
Yeah, I'll leave the planning to those smarter on these types of things.
What? They plan to take it by boat, you think? Is that what he was saying?
I thought I
Um,
heard that was what I heard them say.
Sorry, I probably glossed over that. So the idea is, well, you don't know. I guess you don't know how the sarcophagus will get. You don't know exactly where it's going.
Okay.
So, but it seems like probably not like by boat, at least via the inner sea. It's not being taken to the docks. Basically, in Falkel would have probably explained this in greater detail. The operation of the Gravemen, what they do is, they sew up gold, ill-begotten goods within the bodies of corpses that then get buried out somewhere outside the city walls. And it would seem that, so dragging a sarcophagus out there, seems like what would make sense that they're, I guess you don't know. You don't know exactly where the sarcophagus is headed. That part is probably a question mark. Whether they traditionally, what the smuggler's ring does, that's what they do, is they would take things out to get buried, in the graveyards outside, or just buried unmarked somewhere outside of the city walls. But I guess it's possible. It could be possible that it's going to end up on a boat. All they know is that in 2 days it's moving, is the intel that he has. And thanks for the follow, Night Mad Dragon. We really appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight. Thanks for the follow.
Now, just a question, because I've tended to operate or come to the conclusion that best to leave no witnesses on any of these jobs, but this one has the doesn't, that once that they want that particular operation to continue, so they don't want us killing these people. Is there in this system, is there like the non-lethal damage and stuff like that, or
Yeah,
is there that mechanic?
yeah.
Okay.
As long as you got a weapon that's reasonable to do such a thing, you can do subdual damage.
Okay.
Oftentimes, it might not be like if you got a long sword and you're cutting with it, it'll probably be like a D4 of damage versus a D8. But
True. Yeah, well, I use a warhammer, so
So would we be able to take like the backside of our dagger and like crack them with it or something like that? Or...
yeah,
Okay.
well, you guys could you thief types probably could use a blackjack to better effect than
Yeah, that's a thief
fighter.
weapon. Yeah. That damage dealt is always subdual damage with the blackjack. That's what you guys are looking for.
Looks like we need to do some shopping. So what are you gentlemen thinking? I say we try to get it before it's, well, I mean, if we let the 2 days come up and follow, we might have a horse and a cart provided, but probably
I think
better
we
to
have
get it. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say tonight we do reconnaissance, and the following day, before it goes anywhere we don't know, we try to grab it.
What
We need to
about? Go ahead, Ruclef.
what about if somebody were to go, I mean, I don't know exactly what this business does, but if they deal with caskets and such, is it possible to go in and purchase some caskets and have them come bring some of us dead people into the place and then break out at night? That would be a way to get in, but we would need to know what their mode of operation, I guess, would do. I don't know. Good idea or not.
It's a good idea, but we need to know more, right? We need to know how they operate.
So it is still morning now. We'll say it's about like 10 a.m. or so. Probably will take you probably less than an hour, but we'll just we'll say an hour will pass to get there and then sort of stake out the place in general. Would you like to set out and do that, or do you want to do some shopping first?
I think some shopping.
Okay. So we will say that go out and kind of go and buy and get the things that you probably have to stop at a number of stores, so there'll probably be maybe 2 hours or so that takes place. So it'll be about noon after you've concluded all of your shopping. Is there anything you need me for with buying equipment? This just be the standard stuff in the book.
What does blackjack cost, and what damage does it do? I can't see that in there.
3 gold pieces. It does 2d6 damage if you're a thief.
2d6, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2D stick is the backstab, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
D-
So it's 1D3 normal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So not very effective for us, but for you guys.
Yeah.
And I looked up the rule on subdual damage. What it is if you do subdual damage of the weapon's damage die is just one less on the chain. So if it does a D6 of damage, then it's a D5 for damage. If it's a D8 for damage, it does a D7 of damage. Not really that bad of a penalty.
No, that's actually better than I thought it would be.
So feel free to do that shopping. Is there there's no questions about that? So then another hour passed. So it'll be about 1 p.m. by the time you get to the business. And I'm going to put a map up for the audience to see. But like I said to you guys, I'm probably not going to pop it up for you guys just because there's all sorts of little markings on the map that I probably don't want you to see.
Yeah.
But you get to the building. It is timber, wood and stucco structure, 2 stories tall. Has a very sharply pitched roof that is covered in old slate tiles. It's situated on the corner of Cheap Street and Worm Court. Stout iron bars cover the building's first floor windows. There's a single door at the front of the building that seems to be kind of the main thoroughway for people coming and going. You maybe even see kind of a bereaved looking couple enter into the store while you're just sort of watching it from the street level. There seems to be something of like a walled courtyard at the back of the building where there's a big like kind of garage or a big gate that covers the wall, the kind of thing that carts probably coming and going would enter through, and it's currently shut and padlocked. So the windows on the bottom level are barred. Windows on the top level, for the most part, seem to be unbarred, but they're all shuttered. Shutters are, you can't see through them. And there's a single weather-worn placard that hangs on chains from a post above the front entrance that reads Brevix, Embalming and Funeral Arts.
Well, gentlemen, do we go in there and say that our father has died? We're all brothers. I will have yours.
I'm sorry, Dave. I think we only caught maybe 25% of that.
Oh, really? Here, let me make sure Discord didn't change my settings again.
Yeah, it could be an input sensitivity thing, maybe, or maybe the mic isn't quite like angled right to capture it. I'm not sure.
No, it was way down my input. Yeah. Okay. Is this better now?
So far, so good.
Okay. What if we are needing services for our father that has just passed away, gentlemen, that we can all be brothers?
Oh, that sounds great, but make sure that we stipulate it's against our beliefs to have our father embalmed. We
Yes,
don't want that.
They're looking to buy a casket?
I don't think we should go all of us. That we would look more recognizable. I would say 2 of us could do that.
So 2 of us? Which 2 of us?
Well,
I'm not really persuasive. I don't really like talking with people, so someone else can go.
yeah, talking to people like that's not really my my bag either.
The idea is not to talk. It's just to look inside as much as we can.
Perhaps also one thing, if they were going to be shipping the sarcophagus, taking it to a ship, we may wish to include in there that our father, we want his body to be taken by, to say the 8 cities or someplace that if we ended up getting a casket and it got put in there, it might get put into the same place where the other one was. I don't know. Just a thought. Because I would think,
How are we going to handle the arrangements of getting this? Are we going to steal a cart or wagon, or are we going to rent or buy one? Or
I'm pretty sure in the back they have their own means of transportation. There's a smuggling ring, so they'll have it.
so we're gonna take one of theirs.
I think it's less conspicuous to use one of theirs than come with our own, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, we do it at night. They don't know the difference. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah.
But we need someone to sneak past that walled area and get us an in, because we can go inside and take a look at reconnaissance, but we're not going to be able to go through the front door.
Probably at night, right?
I'm good at sneaking in things, picking locks, stuff like that.
That's all we need. My role in this will be minimal, honestly.
So do you want to go inside and...
Yeah.
Elf? Yes, okay. So
Let's
you
do
two stay out here, and me and Elf will go inside and take a look.
Okay, so Wes and Alef, you're heading through the front door, and you enter into a very simple business-like room that occupies the front of the building. There's a table that you see just off to your right as you enter into the building. Bunch of papers sitting on it, writing materials standing on it. There's a rug that's seen better days that covers the floor. Seems like a lot of traffic probably comes through this particular room. There are a few stray chairs that are positioned by the walls to accommodate clients. And other than the entranceway that you just came in, there are 2 other doors. You can hear... No, you probably can't hear anything here. but there's nobody here currently. Sort of look, it kind of gives you the feel that this is maybe kind of like the reception area or waiting room, but there just isn't anybody at the desk currently.
Yeah, then we'll just sit and look around.
I'm sorry, actually there is somebody here. There's somebody sitting at the desk, I'll say. And there's a man who looks like he's got maybe like a few teeth missing, but he's dressed nicely enough, you know, not overly noble feel, but just like well maintained other than that one little flaw. And he kind of gives you just a smile. He doesn't try to bare his teeth. Looks like he's maybe a little self-conscious of that, and kind of waves you forward and he says, come. Do you have a standing appointment with us? Are you a current client or a new business?
Oh, we apologize. We just heard that you guys do a good job, and we find ourselves in a difficult situation. So apologize if we didn't make a reservation. We just decided to come and check you guys out.
Of course, and I presume this loss was recent.
Recent, yes, and unexpected.
He's just looking at you with eyes that are trained to give off like a feeling of empathy, but you're not really sure if this is genuine feel. But he says, I'm so sorry to hear that. Of course, we will do everything that we can to make their passing as painless as possible for you. Please, if you'd like, have a seat. One of our funeral directors will be with you shortly.
I appreciate.
And you wait for maybe like 20 minutes or something, and then from the door along the wall where you're sitting, that door opens and you can see the couple that entered into the building is with another man who's maybe a little bit more polished than the reception fellow. Slicked back black hair. He's got more of like kind of a more formal kind of suit on, and he's kind of patting them on the back, and he says, we are going to do everything to do right by your poor mother. We're so sorry to hear of her fall. We will do everything to make sure that her passing is an easy one. And they go and they'll say, we'll call when she's ready to be delivered. And so they leave, and then he says, welcome. And he says, so sorry to keep you waiting here. Please follow me.
Thank you.
And you follow him through this through a door that leads just into like kind of a short hallway, and then through another door that leads you into a meeting room of sorts. There's a simple wooden table here decorated with a vase of fresh flowers and surrounded by 4 chairs that occupies the room. A threadbare rug covers the floor, and the whitewashed plaster walls are slowly turning gray from Lankhmar's nighttime smoke. And he takes very special care to, move the chairs out, and gives you kind of that gentleman's kind of feel as he says, so, when did the deceased pass? I'm sorry. Where are my manners? It's just been a very, very busy day. My name is Julam. I'm the director here.
Nice to meet you, Julam. We're trying to find a nice passage to our father.
Oh, your father.
Marcus, he died 2 nights ago.
Oh.
It it was an old guy, so it's not like we weren't expecting, but we wanted him to live a little bit longer. So anyway,
2 days ago, we need to work quick. The body can deteriorate it starts deteriorating the moment that their soul passes to the other worlds. And so we will need to get the body here pronto, and have our morticians go to work on him, preserve the body.
Yeah. We just need to give the opportunity to all the family members to pay their respect, and then absolutely we'll do as you ask.
Is there an address where we can pick up the corpse?
We're just looking at pricing right now and kind of going through, and like my brother said, we're just a bunch of families got to look at him. He's a drunk old bastard. He's almost fermented right now. He doesn't really smell that bad. So, I mean, he smelled worse most days, in all honesty. Once I gave him a sponge bath, kind of got rid of a lot of that mold or some of his big rolls. You guys are probably more familiar with that than I am, but oof.
It sounds like you have fond memories of your father.
Yeah, I think. But yeah,
Well,
I'll miss him.
Well, sure. We could certainly help you out with prices and such. Our standard package will run 70 gold rilks.
Holy cow! Oof.
Well, that includes transportation services.
But we could transport him here.
Oh.
If that helps.
Well, okay. Well, if but there are transportation costs to take him out to the graveyard outside the town, and we put on a nice service for them in a memoriam. There's the embalming. There's.
But we don't want him embalmed. We want to have a casket for him, Ken.
Oh. All right.
Or is it something different?
Okay. Well, we can forego the embalming, I suppose. How about we knock some of that off? How about 50 gold rilks?
That's going to be our life savings.
Well, I guess we do have. He's kind of looking at you, and you can see just sort of like a look of pity come over his face, and he says, "We do have another option for those that don't have means, and that would be a pine box, crafted very immaculately. Our carpenter is very good. He's very good. We will take care of your poor father, but and then placed in a cavity in the earth, unmarked.
What would that be if we want to go and pay our respects?
Well, you could come out with us to the spot, and then it would be on you to find it subsequent trips.
Is that something you guys do, or just we don't want to make you go out of your normal procedures?
That would cost you 5 gold rilks.
Okay.
That's a good price.
And our father was from Arborixen, as you can tell. I know my brother here doesn't want to spend that much money, but would there be a way to have our father transport back via carriage or boat?
You don't want to spend much money, but you're wanting passage on a boat.
Well, that's me. I'm cheap,
Oh.
My brother doesn't want to contemplate the option. I am willing. I hope I'm not seeming.
I think I am understanding the dynamic here. Yes, of course, the favored son. Sure. Okay. We contract with a number of sailors who would be able to provide that type of service. I think passage on a boat likely run you a extra 50 gold rilks.
Ooh, you able to cover that, brother?
Well, not as of now, but I'm sure I can whip something up in a couple of days.
All right.
Yeah, was very useful. Can we take a look at your caskets?
But of course, follow
Yeah,
me.
maybe maybe a nicer one, and then the pine one, like the one I'll be buried in someday.
Oh, well, I'm sure that we don't have any of those made up just now, but you'll have to use your imagination. But I assure
Yeah.
you the coffins and caskets that we do have are top notch.
So you make them in-house or procure them?
Well, we do. We make them right here. We have a workshop just upstairs that I can take you to.
That would be awesome.
You can even ask questions, and if you have specific instructions that you'd like to leave with the carpenter, I'm sure he would be more than accommodating.
I'm a bit of a carpenter myself. So
Oh, well, then you'll have much to talk about, I'm sure. You can.
yeah.
He would love to have you comment on his work.
Bet she does good work.
And he will take you out through the door that you came through, back to kind of that main room. And he takes you to the other door that you haven't gone through yet. And he takes out, you see him, he pulls out a ring of keys, and he uses one of the keys on this door. And then, he instructs you to follow him. And then you just kind of pass through a corridor where there are two more doors. And he again takes out that same key ring and goes to a different key, unlocks another door, and that brings you into a stairwell. And he says, follow me, watch your step. This is a pretty narrow staircase. And you make your way up a staircase. And at the top of the stairs, you are standing in a hallway. He takes you down the hall. I'm sorry. Actually, it doesn't. Sorry, not a hallway. It is a common room that he takes you up into. Number of plain wooden chairs here, tables occupy the room. There's a pile of worn rugs that cover the floor. Dirty windows line the walls. There's a pewter pitcher that rests on the table besides a quartet of wooden goblets. There's a stuffed raven that watches over the room atop a wooden perch, its feathers dusty with age. And he says hello to, it looks like there's a couple of men that have like kind of heavy aprons on. They've got each of them has like gloves that are just sitting on the table, and both of them are just kind of drinking maybe some water from the goblets. And the funeral director kind of gives them a nod as they pass, and kind of gives you the feel that maybe this is sort of like the break room. These are like two of the embalmers or whatever, and they're just taking a moment to take a load off or whatever. But he doesn't stop to like introduce you to them or anything. He just keeps walking, and he takes you down a little hallway and then into a workshop that smells of sawdust. You can see timber planks piled in great numbers against the walls of the room. And there's just like kind of wood shavings kind of everywhere, and that smell of kind of wood dust is heavy. Small table holds a collection of chisels, hammers, nails, saws, and planes, along with two completed rows of coffins that lean against the wall in various stages of being stained and varnished and such. And there's a man here who's in kind of worker's gown, big beard that's full of sawdust. He's got goggles on. He's like sawing away as you come in. And the funeral director kind of stops him and he says, Leo, a couple of prospective customers here. They are in between decision making. Sounds like we're somewhere between maybe the cherry wood deluxe over here and a pine box. And the carpenter just looks up and he says, "Oh, well, hey, take a gander. We got a wide selection. We can these are all spoken for, but they give you a feel of what the craftsmanship is like here, and I can custom make whatever you need."
All right.
Alex, is there anything here suggesting older casket that are closed?
I'm sorry, what was it? Older casket?
Yeah. I mean, do I get the sense there are some that are getting ready to be shipped out or stored on the way out? Or this is just in the process of making?
There's like two. We'll say there's 3 finished ones. One other thing you do notice in the room as you're looking at these coffins is there is a trap door in the floor. It's like a definitely big enough for a casket or coffin. It's just like a floor, there's a ring there and it looks like it's probably a hatch for sending the coffins down. The stairway that you came up is very, very narrow, and that seems unlikely that they transport caskets up that way.
When I looked at that, the entrance allows them to lower the casket down. Would we be aware of where that would lead based on our orientation and moving inside the building?
Someplace you haven't been yet.
Okay.
It'd be like someplace maybe a room over from where the meeting room was that you were in, but you didn't see any doors down there that led into that space. I think we are maybe getting a raid right now, so hey, Goblin Tuesday, thank you for the raid, coming in with 29 people. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream tonight. Let us know what you guys were up to. And thanks for the follow. Here, let's give you guys a shout out. Goblin Tuesday. Go check them out. Give them a follow. Thank you all so much for the follows. That's awesome. So welcome in. What we're doing tonight, we're playing some DCC Lankhmar. This is a short run campaign that we are doing. We're shooting for maybe 10 episodes or so. This is episode 3. And basically, we're doing a bit of using some of the materials from the Goodman Games box set for Lankhmar. And so we're doing a bit of homebrew, kind of bringing in some of the ideas that are generated off the tables and those materials. And then actually right now we're playing through one of the modules. This one is called Grave Matters. It actually has 2 different little modules within it. I'm playing Grave Matters. So right now, 2 of our party here, they have been tasked by an employer to steal a sarcophagus, a very ornate sarcophagus that belonged to a former overlord of Lankhmar, and is inside this embalming house that has a cover for a smuggling ring. 2 of them are inside talking to the funeral director currently, just kind of casing the place. They're trying to get some intel about the inside of this place so that they can be successful when they try to make a run at it. So, yeah, the map is outstanding. Yeah, this is, I think this is probably a Doug Kovacs map. It's one of the ones from, yep, I see Doug Kovacs, so. Well, so yeah, you guys are in here talking with the carpenter, talking with the funeral director. You see the trap door. It's worth noting none of these coffins in here look like a sarcophagus. Like none of them would be what you're.
Good. Then basically we just chat. But then when the time comes, I think we've seen enough inside.
Yeah. You haggle about the price and talk about caskets for a bit just to make it believable. And then what's your next plan? The funeral director will be probably a bit pushy about maybe getting some papers signed and getting a contract signed with you to perform services.
I will say, let me talk with my brother outside, and then I'll come back to sign the papers.
He says,
Yeah,
well,
I'm kind of a simple man.
well, take all the time you need, but maybe not too long. It's already been 2 days, and I am worried about the integrity of the body. Particularly if you're wishing to send this overseas. I have to tell you, some of these ship captains, been a lot of talk of rats on board, and so there's a lot of scrutiny about. I've been hearing all sorts of wild tales.
Interesting.
I hate rats, so.
As do I. And I assure you there are none here in the embalming house, and whatever condition that your father comes here in will be, we'll take very good care of him.
This makes me so happy. Thank you so much. Let me go talk with my brother and be back.
Of course, we are here to serve. You leave the embalming house and rejoin with the others somewhere on the street.
Yeah, we would fill them in right away what had happened.
Yeah.
Get to see some of it, so.
So guys, good news is the sarcophagus is not in the day side of things. But we managed to see a trapdoor where they lower the casket to, which probably goes into the hold, where it's presumable that they keep, the stuff ready to be shipped out, away from the eyes of customers and stuff.
Were you able to get a glimpse of the casket that we have to
No,
nab?
it was not visible. I speculate it's in their hold.
Okay.
We might need to come back later at night and see if we can get a sense of what their back look like. The funeral director has a Rigo keys. Another thing we could do, but it's definitely less finesse, would be to take him out, get his rings, and go with those. I don't know if you guys like the idea, but that's definitely one potential avenue.
Yes, I think we do that. I think we take his keys. We follow him home. Jump him before he gets home. Me and Mickey.
Either that or we just try to pick the locks.
It's easier with the keys, is it not?
Yeah, but it does come with the complication of having to take someone out. That's another.
Yeah, we just knock him unconscious and tie him up. My pickpocketing is not, my lock picking is not that great. I'm not as skilled as you, Mickey.
Mickey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about picking locks?
I have other skills that are stronger, but we can try and take the guy out, I suppose. But
With enough luck, anything is possible.
I think our first plan should be to take a look at the back. And unfortunately, on that one, I'm not going to be able to help you much in climbing a wall or seeing inside. But I can stand ready to support you if you need. But that's what I will do tonight.
I'm good at climbing the walls. I'm pretty good at that.
So let's do that tonight. Not now; it's daytime, but with the sun down.
When were they moving the body? When were they moving this thing?
It was
2
2
days?
days. 2 days, yeah.
So if we were going to do this, we probably are gonna. I mean, we would want to do it tonight, right? Because if they were moving the thing tomorrow night, they may have more people.
Yes, I think we do it tonight.
I assume they're gonna have something moved every night, but I might be wrong. That's what we have to figure out tonight. Now, whether or not we have the opportunity to do it tonight, I'm not 100% sure. Perhaps, if we're lucky. But I would also keep our flexibility in case things don't look great, not to go ahead with the plan.
What is everyone's thoughts on the gold bonus of not killing anyone, or was that we were instructed just not to kill anyone, or what?
I get the sense that their operations are widely known to the people in power in the Thieves Guild, so they don't want their broader activities disrupted by this hijacking. So you have to be surgical. Just remove what needs to be removed without disrupting too much the supply chain.
What if? Yes, go ahead, Ruclef. What?
More gold, better.
So you guys are in agreement. More gold. Try to be. What? How do we keep them? We may need to go shopping for. What do they call them? I'm not a fan of them. That's maybe some manacles. How do we take the hostile target and nullify them without killing them?
Well, one way to do that is beat the crap out of them and then tie them up, salami way.
Yeah, they didn't say don't hurt them, just don't kill them.
Yes,
Correct.
we can knock them unconscious, but many people come back from unconsciousness, do they not?
Yeah.
Maybe we
Depends
should
on
put
how
some
hard you
hoods
hit 'em.
over our heads just to be safe, that we aren't recognized after we knock them out, and they come back, You know what I mean? Protect our identity.
Let's
Maybe
make sure we
should-
have.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, let's make sure we have covering for our faces and plenty of rope to tie people up.
All right.
Masks of sorts.
So we got to do some shopping yet tonight, maybe? Or before tonight?
Yeah, you can certainly do that. Let's see. Manacles you're not going to find in the book. We'll say you can get manacles for, let's say, 3 gold rilks.
Okay. I'll
Bless
buy
you.
some right away. I'll buy a few.
What was the other thing you needed? Rope?
Rope.
Rope is 25 copper.
So I'll get 4 ropes for 1 silver.
Well, I have some rope, but we should get some cloth to make some hoods to stick over our heads, I guess.
Okay. We'll say you can get enough cloth to do that for. We'll just say 4 silver.
I bought 3 sets of manacles. Do you think the vendor would have that? Is that all right?
You would be able to, yeah. If you go to the
Find it.
Plaza
Okay.
of Dark Delights, the place where you're supposed to deliver the sarcophagus, you could find whatever you want there.
Okay.
This is pretty tame, considering the stuff you could find there.
What could we find there?
Alef is probably familiar with that place. That's probably where you did a lot of your dealing.
Any of that bad drugs he's got?
You can find whatever quality of drugs you want, the good shit or the bad.
My stuff is good quality.
Other preparations, things that you want to procure.
Do you guys need like the grappling hook and stuff like that for climbing?
I don't think so. I'm good at just going up the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, it just says climb clear sheer surfaces. Do we need grappling hooks, Alex? Or
Like for this building, not with the thief skill.
okay, all right.
Like,
Well, maybe
we need-
for. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, likely, you thief types would go up and climb in a window or whatever, and then let me and Alef.
Yeah.
in.
We would let you guys in then.
All right. So you wait till evening. Are you going back like before evening just to kind of watch what happens there? Okay. So you get there, even with the shopping and such, you're able to make it back by closing time of this place, which would be, I think we'll say it closes at like 7 or so. And so it's starting to get dark out by the time you start seeing the regular employees kind of locking up the place. Lights go out and then they leave. And then are you waiting for a bit after they leave, or are you making a move as soon as they're out?
I would say we probably would make the move after it's sufficiently dark.
Okay. So it becomes dark out. And you're just sitting somewhere in an alley or whatever, like opposite this building. It's foggy out, and lamplight, of different homes, or this is a pretty quiet little area that you're in. Not a lot of like taverns or whatever, so it's not super hopping here. But you start to notice that there's a couple of lights that kind of like, it looks like very dim candlelight in a number of the windows that you can see. I would say particularly on the second floor.
So you're saying that there's probably somebody still in there
Seems like it.
working.
Because it was dark. Like the lights went out. You watched as the regular employees had very clearly gone through their closing of the shop procedure. And then as they left, maybe like an hour after they left, you started to see like very dim, like kind of candlelight.
Maybe the guy running the thing is still in there working late or something. We didn't see him leave, did we?
The boss, the funeral director, yeah, he left.
Oh, I wonder who else would be in there.
The night crew, those that do the smuggling.
Hmm.
We were told that the day folks are legitimately doing what they say they're doing. So I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's nothing that suggests that the day crew even knows about the smuggling. Maybe the boss does, but there was no feel. There's probably no shady feel, I would say, that Wes or Alef had while they were in there. Like the whole place legitimately seemed like it was just operating as you would expect a funeral home to operate.
Well, shall we go in, Mickey?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go in through a window that doesn't have the light and be extra careful. If we have to go into a room where they're operating, that's going to be a problem.
What about this back gate? There's a larger gate, right? where it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sort of like an enclosed, like I don't know, it's not exactly a stable, but just like a wagon carriage house.
What about this, Mickey? Can you pick this lock?
Yeah, I can give it an attempt. Do you want me to?
And so that is
Pick the-
the padlock on the gates back behind. Okay. Go ahead and make me a check with your thieves' tools.
And I'll be keeping my eyes on the street where we are, up and down, make sure nobody's watching.
I rolled rather bad for picking a lock, so I only got a 9.
Are you sticking with the 9?
Bird of luck. It's a 1d4.
Don't forget, you can burn a luck and he gets like 2, like double that or something, right? Isn't there something with
What
their
do
link?
what do I roll when I burn a luck for a thief?
It's a D4 now, right? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, it's a 1d4.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna burn 2 luck and see what I get. Okay, that's gonna add another 7 onto my 9, so up to 16.
Okay. So this is a pretty simple. You really just needed a 10 to clear the padlock. So you managed to pick the lock. As you're picking the lock, though, like you do it, and then you hear a voice on the other side say, "Hey, you hear something?" I think it did. Let's go check it out. And so there's 2 distinct voices that you hear on the other side, and you can hear their boots. They're making their way towards the gate.
Do we hear this? Is Mickey near me?
I
Am I
think
near Mickey?
I think the 2 of you. My understanding was the 2 of you went up together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna.
you both hear it.
I'll motion to Mickey to move that way, quick, like back up about 10 feet, and then I'm gonna act like I tripped and fell into the gate. Oh, my head.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I'm gonna hide in shadows. if
Okay.
I can.
Give me a hide in shadows check.
Oh, jeez. Rolls.
How many luck are you gonna
Um,
burn? Or yeah, I mean, don't forget, Wes can burn luck for Mickey also.
Yeah, I'll burn 2. How bad did you roll?
It would be an 8.
All right, I'll burn 2 luck for you.
All right, so roll 2d4, and I have to make a ruling, I think, on this because it's worded. I don't think it addresses how it works with thieves. Well, I think it's just a +2. I'm just gonna make it a flat +2 on whatever you roll. Well, a +2 for each point of luck. So if you're burning 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say
so we
that,
get 4.
so +4 on top of whatever you rolled.
Mm.
I'll bring it up to 12.
Plus, what did you roll?
I rolled an 8.
No, what did Dave roll for your luck expenditure? You roll a D4 for each point of luck that you rolled.
Oh, I didn't roll. I think Cliff rolled.
Okay. Well,
I rolled initially. I didn't roll.
hold on.
The,
Okay, sorry.
For the extra.
I'm not. Maybe I need to be more explicit about what I'm at. So okay. So, Mickey, you rolled your check. It sucked. Then
Yeah.
Wes is burning luck to assist in your.
Trying to hide him.
Yeah. So maybe what it is, if you're going to use this feature, you're not using your thief skill. Like you can only use your thief skill on yourself. But in this
Sure.
case, you're burning 2 points of luck. So it'll be 4. It'll be a +4. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. So what did you roll, Mickey? It was an 8.
Well, that was with my thief skill of hiding shadows.
Correct. So your roll was an 8. And you're getting a
Yeah.
+4, so it's a 12. You want to
Right.
stay at a 12? Are you burning any luck in your favor?
I can roll and burn another luck, I suppose.
You're burning a point for yourself.
Just-
Okay.
Okay. And that'll add another 3 onto it, bring it up to 15.
Okay. So you're sufficiently hidden as the guards open up the gate. Or the guards, whoever it is. And you can see that there are 2 men there. Dressed in kind of heavy leathers. They both of them have a hooded cloak on. They both seem to have a sheathed short sword at their hilt and a dagger they're concealing. And as they open up the gate, they look down at you, Mickey, and they're pulling out their short swords.
Are they looking at me?
And they're looking at you, yeah.
I'm just gonna act like I just got done throwing up and whoa, gentlemen,
Make me a personality check.
Okay. What, 10? And then let me see if I got any positives to it. No. So just a 10.
All right. Any additions onto that from Mickey? Are you going to return the favor here at all, or?
I'll burn a luck for him.
Okay, so I'll get it up to
Okay.
a 12 then.
All right.
So then they
I'll give you another 3.
it'll be 2. So when you burn it for the opposite person, you just
Yeah.
they get a +2 for every point.
All right.
So so they look down and they say, "You stupid drunk, get the hell out of here. There's no bars around here."
What? Where am I?
You're in the home of the dead.
I'm not in the home of the dead. What are you thinking?
And they both
What?
there's like a cart there that just looks absolutely disgusting. Like you could just see like gore still caked onto like the floor, the wooden boards that make up the bed of the cart, and they say, "Come with us."
Right. What is it on the side of your cart?
It is we will take you to your final destination.
Okay, I'll follow you, I suppose.
And then they're like leading you into this little courtyard, and so what you see, it smells like really bad in here, like you know, like a poorly ventilated bathroom where someone just like vomited everywhere. And there's also
to
like
make it
this kind of
horrible.
like chemical smell in the air, like kind of like brine. And you can see that there are there's like a proper wagon that probably is used as a hearse that it's painted black, decorated with dried flowers, and it's parked beside a raised platform that on the platform there are double doors that lead into the building. And then there's like the body cart, like that probably goes through the slums and just picks up whatever, you know, they just scrape off whatever dead guy from the night before and then put him on the heap, right? So they're leading you towards that disgusting cart. And it seems like they are probably aiming to like prank you or get you to like lay down in that cart, and then who knows what they're gonna do.
I'm so glad I found you gentlemen tonight. So I don't know where I'm at, guys, but this place stinks.
Well, it is the passage to your final resting place mirrors how you lived, you drunk bastard.
Ugh. You know, Velma tells me I'm a drunk bastard all the time.
And they move you over to that cart, and they're getting ready to just kind of grab you and like kind of toss you in.
You guys are helping me out a lot here.
And so you're just kind of going with it and going with them.
Yep.
Okay. They toss you in, and you land on this bed of just. You give me a fortitude saving throw. Like it's not great. You think you even see some like kind of leftover maggots kind of like inching around in there.
It's a 5, so we're just gonna take it.
Okay. So I'm gonna say you're at a -2 to your attacks and like any like ability checks that you have to do will be at -2.
Okay.
Or we'll say this will last like 30 minutes or so, like just the retching and like the inevitable like phantom like remembering that happened to you that will happen, because this is horrifying that you're in here, but you're going with it. And then they take the cart and they just kind of like start moving you. Like they move out of the courtyard. They take the time to go and like lock the padlock again. And at that point, as they have wheeled you out into the street, the one guy goes, "Hey, why is this padlock unlocked?" And then they go to look at you, Wes.
You came out and got me. What do you mean padlock unlocked?
And then they're pulling out their swords. And like everybody can see this because they're not in the courtyard anymore. They've moved out to the street. Like they were gonna like haul Wes somewhere and dump him somewhere in the city. But at this point, maybe given the time, maybe this is a good little cliffhanger to end on, that they're pulling out their swords. Everybody sees it happening. You can think about how you want to react to that. But yeah, before we get too far into like digging into the house, this is probably the good ending point. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hope you guys had fun with that. This is the first one of a module. We haven't done any module work here, so this was the first digging into grave matters. I'd never played this one before, so it was kind of fun to kind of read through it and see how this one might take hold. And it is interesting because of the whole try not to kill anybody factor. That's a unique. I hadn't seen that in any of the Lankhmar modules yet.
Definitely makes it more difficult.
Yeah,
It does not look we're gonna do that at this point.
Oh, we can still knock these guys out. That's fine. And they locked the padlock, right? So they have the keys to it.
Yeah.
Or is it just the normal kind where you just, because they wouldn't be able to get back in otherwise?
Yeah, he was going to like just like lock the padlock, and I don't know. I think maybe he hasn't done it yet. He was like about to go and like lock the padlock just because like, okay, we're leaving. That's kind of like what we do. And then that's when he had like the realization, like, wait a second. So, maybe to be determined whether they have keys. You haven't seen him pull out keys, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have them.
Right.
Yeah, so we learned a little bit more too about Wes and Mickey have this connection somehow. Could be as a result of whatever magic your Wes's mother, whatever deal she made maybe many years ago. And yeah, there's tons more leads, I'm sure, that we'll be following up on in the coming weeks. So we do this one every other Sunday. So if you want to catch us live, the next time you can do that for the Lankhmar game would be on the 19th. We do that at 7 p.m. So check us out then. But we do have a full schedule. We're streaming, most nights of the week, I would say. So if you're ever curious about what our schedule is, just look down below on the Twitch channel. I usually keep that updated. Otherwise, your best bet probably is just jumping in the Discord. I post the weekly schedule there as well. And we also run a community campaign. So if you're looking for a game and need some people to play with, and you've been watching us, think our games look like they'd be fun for you to play in, hop in our Discord and introduce yourself in the lobby, and we will be happy to onboard you with how you can create a character and sign up for games in our community campaign. That's gonna do it for us tonight. I think maybe we will go ahead and give a raid. And why don't we do this? We'll give a raid over to, I think, some people we know are probably over on Roleplay Give, so we'll go raid them. So, thanks everybody, and
Thanks
we
for
will catch
hanging
you all
out, all.
soon.